Hey, what's going on? It's me. I'm not going to edit this video, at least not that much. I tend to just talk all the way through. This is not a funny video. This is not an informative video. This is a video about me and something I was thinking about earlier today. Something that happened to me about 3 years ago. After I graduated high school, back in '06, I found my biological father on the internet through one of those people search things that you have to pay like $7 to $11 for. He was living in upstate New York with his second wife and his 4 kids, who I had never met before. And I had no memory of my father. He left after my mom divorced him when I was 2, and I think my brother was 1 or something like that. And he might have been like 10 months old, I don't know, whatever. The only thing I knew about my father was, that he was a wife beater and a rapist and, control freak and an asshole. And I wanted to meet the guy. I really did. I wanted to see what he was like for myself. So I contacted him, and I went up to live with him. My first memory of the man was him picking me up from the bus station, the Greyhound bus station in Albany, New York, and I ended up staying at his really, really tiny house, and I met his wife. I met my half-brother, my half-sister, my stepbrother, my stepsister, which was cool to find out that I was not the oldest of 3. I was actually the oldest of 7, which kind of sucked in a way. Now, I liked my father a lot when I first met him because we had a lot in common, despite the fact we had never spoken before. I never heard from him while I was growing up. I didn't get a birthday card, a phone call, nothing. We ate the same foods. We played the same video games, liked the same movies. We had a very similar sense of humor. We had a lot of the same mannerisms. And so we became pals really quick. I even got him into World of Warcraft. Now, my half-sister, Samantha, who I think was either 11 or 12 years old when I met her, I think she turned 12 a month or so after I got up there. There was her, and there was my stepsister, Sherry. Now, my father had married a woman who brought 2 kids of her own into the marriage. My stepbrother, Scott, and my stepsister, Sherry. Sherry was 17, I think. And while I was up there, I found out, through little hints that my half-sister Samantha had dropped, that something really bad had happened to my sisters. And I assumed it either had something to do with rape or molestation. I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to ask any questions about it, even though I was extremely curious and wanted to know. But I assumed that it was something that was like something terrible that had happened in the past. It was over with, it was done with, and it was better not to ask questions, so I kept my mouth shut. But I opened my mouth one day and said something I shouldn't have. And after saying that, I then realized that nobody knew about this incident that had apparently occurred. And my father and his wife and the other two kids, the boys, were hearing about it for the first time. Apparently, my sisters had been molested by a close friend of the family several years back. And my father didn't do anything about it. He was just so distant. He didn't talk about it. He decided just to bury it under the rug. There were probably reasons why he did that, but I didn't understand it at the time, and to this day I don't understand it, probably because I'm young and stupid, but it really bothered me that he chose to do nothing. And I remember I cried over that, and I was extremely upset that he chose to do nothing, because in my mind I thought that was a terrible lesson to teach your children, that if something terrible happens to them as the result of a really bad person, You just ignore it, sweep it under the rug, and move on with your life. You don't do anything about it. Now, the guy who had done this to my sisters was someone that my father had known, was very good friends with, and this guy was married. And I don't even think my father or my father's wife told this guy's wife, or the guy, that they even knew about it. At least while I was up there, which upset me. And that's when I decided to leave New York, and I went back to Wichita. And I was thinking about this today because I remember last night my brother called me while I was at work, and I was playing World of Warcraft, and he asked me for a ride. He asked me to come pick him up from work, and then I just hung up on him because I was playing World of Warcraft. And I can remember my father used to take an active interest in his kids and his family when I first got up there, but as soon as I got him introduced to World of Warcraft, all he did was sit on his ass and play World of Warcraft. And I don't blame him. He was really good at it. We played Horde. He was an undead warlock, and I think I started a Tauren druid on the server we were playing on. And I can't help but feel that I'm somewhat responsible for my father deciding not to do anything about the incident that occurred, because I can see him, sitting there just playing World of Warcraft, or just escaping reality, just saying, "Fuck it, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this." And he totally stopped being a part of the family when I got him into World of Warcraft, and his wife hated me so much for getting him into that game. So, and I think it's interesting because my brother went to live up to New York to live with my father about a year later, and apparently our baby sister Samantha, who was either 12 or 13 at the time, was sleeping with an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old, something like that. I can't remember. I think he was 18. He was either 18 or 20 years old. And my brother told me that our father didn't give a rat's ass. And I like to think that if my father had done something about the whole, you were molested by this guy that we know thing, that she might have turned out different. I don't know. There are other factors that come to mind. I'm not going to go into that much detail. And I know what you're thinking. You've already gone into such abundant detail about something so personal. Yeah. Point is, I wonder if my father would have acted differently regarding that situation if I had never introduced him to World of Warcraft. WoW is the destroyer of worlds. Fuck my life.